Hey, nerdy sports fan here, and we're continuing our series breaking down the schedules for every team, giving win-loss predictions for everybody. We're into the AFC South. We're wrapping things up with the AFC and NFC South, mostly because they're my least favorite divisions to talk about, because they're going to have what I think are the two worst teams in the league in them. And we're starting off with one of them here with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah. All right, so a couple of years ago, they had the best defense in the league. You couldn't even argue it. They were defense heavy, and it was the only thing keeping them in games. Their running backs were dynamic enough to score enough points that just mauler of a defense was able to shine. You don't have virtually anybody from that defense any longer, just 2 years separated. Both starting DBs. You just lost Calais Campbell this offseason. It's been a fire sale, okay? And, lucky for you, you got something at least interesting to watch. The team seems to be genuinely giving Florida man himself, Gardner Minshew, a chance to show what he can do for this team. They're just giving him a far weaker roster to do it with. I don't know what the heck is going on, but nobody wants to play for this team. Everybody wants to demand a trade. And it's severely weakened the roster. You have to get rid of Doug Marrone. You have to get rid of the stink that Tom Coughlin left in that locker room. I don't know how the heck you're going to do it outside of jettisoning Doug Marrone and bringing in a much more upbeat kind of coach, a coach that doesn't do things this old school way that Coughlin was just browbeating people with. I mean, Marrone had to be on board with that. It's just who he is. So I don't think he's good for the team. I think the team's suffering until they do a legitimate reset. And I think Gardner Minshew's potential to be a starter is going to suffer because of it. He's not being given a legitimate opportunity to show what he can do when you're giving him a worse roster than what you had last year, which was bad. So, that being said, let's get into the schedule here. Week 1, the Colts. This, in my mind, is a toss-up game. And before we go too farther, some games will be guaranteed wins. Some games will be guaranteed losses. The remainder will be in a toss-up category simply because of the amazing parity we have in this league and the any given Sunday rule. At the end of it, we'll divide up the wins and losses for the toss-up category based off of strength of schedule, and that's how we get our record prediction. So we're starting with a toss-up game. You're getting them at home, which is a benefit. It is a division rival. You know each other really well. They've got some real questions at quarterback because Rivers' arm is dead, okay? I will not accept that there's a chance that he doesn't have a dead arm. I watched too much film on that guy last year. They're riding their offensive line to whatever it can bring them to again, and it's not going to be much because this is a quarterback-driven league. The rest of their team does not deserve the tragedy that will be Rivers' season. That being said, you have your own crap-ass team. Okay? Minshew's going to be fun to watch. He really is. And you have some talented players. Chark is going to be super fun to watch. Leonard Fournette, if he's still on the team, was much better last year than he was the year before. And I expect that trend to continue. He's gotten serious about his NFL career. But nobody wants to stay with this team. The locker room is just a quagmire. So you don't have enough to say you're definitely going to dominate a team that has its own weaknesses. You're in a toss-up category with the weak teams. All right. At the Titans, definitely losing that one. I actually have the Titans as the division winner this year. And they're a strong team. All right, Derrick Henry, he gave you fits when you had Calais Campbell. You don't have Calais Campbell anymore. So, I'm sorry. It's going to be an ugly game. Dolphins, toss-up game. You're getting them at home? This is the battle for the soul of Florida, man. That's going to be a fun game, right? They're bad, sure. Both teams are bad, but they're so evenly matched, and it's a turf war. So, man, I would love to see the mustache just bring that home. I really would. Just for Jacksonville to have some sort of bragging rights over Miami in one category of life, at least. All right, so at the Bengals. This is a toss-up game. I'd actually probably call this one a win if you were getting them at home. You earned the number one pick. Okay, the Bengals are one of the only teams in the league I can say are legitimately a worse roster than the Jaguars. But you're getting them on the road, and they seem to have the right direction. I think the coach with now Joe Burrow is going to be able to cultivate at least a slightly better locker room situation than what the Jaguars have going on right now. But again, that only brings it to the toss-up category. You still have a legitimate chance to beat this team. They're just that bad. All right, at the Texans. You're definitely losing that game. Deshaun Watson is a wonderful, wonderful talent to watch. He really is. And his leadership and ability will be able to pull it out in their own stadium against this Jaguars team, I think, relatively easily. All right, Lions. You're getting them at home? Sure, it's still going to be a loss. Matt Stafford's finally gotten some help on the offensive line. He's gotten even more skill position help surrounding him. That offense is a nightmare, all right? You don't have the defensive staff to contend with that. Nowhere near what you need to contend with that. And you don't have the offense to win a track meet against anybody. So, yeah, that's a pretty bad loss there. You get a bye week in week 7. Yeah, that's 1 week you're not guaranteed to lose, right? All right, week 8. Chargers. This is a toss-up game. You're getting them at home, which is a huge benefit. They have a very well-built defense there for the Chargers, but their offense is going to be dealing with one big question all year. When is the rookie going to start? Everybody knows at this point that Tyrod Taylor is a very good NFL quarterback, but there's nobody in the league that thinks he's the man. There's nobody in the league that thinks he's the guy who's going to bring you to the Super Bowl. That being said, you've got a shiny new toy in the rookie quarterback you just drafted behind him. There's going to be murmurings all season of, why aren't we putting the rookie in? Why do we have Tyrod starting? Why isn't the rookie out there? Those sorts of questions divide a locker room. So, whereas I think the Chargers have a superior roster, I think they're in a weird spot for their franchise right now. And I think the chemistry is going to take firmly cementing Justin Herbert as the starter before it can develop. All right. So, Texans. You're getting them at home. So this is a bit of a toss-up game. Mostly because of where the Texans are right now. They have so many strange roster moves that Bill O'Brien has made. Their roster is very weak compared to what it was just a few years ago. So I just don't think that they have the depth of talent on that team to guarantee a road win against a division rival. I don't. And now the Deshaun Watson factor makes it so they definitely can win this game against you. But I'm not giving this a guaranteed win against the Jaguars. No. You have a serious chance of beating the Texans at home. All right. At the Packers, you're going to lose. You don't have a road team. Okay? It takes strong leadership, cohesion in the locker room, and on the offensive line, the defense has to be stout. You don't have the factors you need to put up serious amounts of wins on the road. You just don't. All right, Steelers. You're playing them at home. That's a good thing. It doesn't matter. You're going to lose. They're a very strong team. They're a lock for the playoffs this year. And you can't assume that Ben Roethlisberger is going to be hurt again. If he is, you have a shot here. Roethlisberger healthy? No chance. No chance. It's one of the top 5 defenses in the league you're going against, and that offense is very strong when Ben Roethlisberger is throwing the ball. Okay, so Browns. It's a toss-up game, mostly because you're getting them at home, and the Browns is an extremely, extremely chaotic team right now. They don't have strong leadership. They have all the talent in the world, but their leadership is terrible, making it so they're going to be an extremely weak road team. So even though I think they have the better roster, for certain, there's enough factors in the lack of leadership to make it so you can definitely beat them. All right, at the Vikings, you're going to lose. One, it's a road game, and you're not really going to have much of a chance to win a lot of those anyway. 2, they are a serious playoff contender and going to win their division. You're nowhere near that level of talent. And, Kirk Cousins is a weapon that they don't need. They're built to run the ball extremely effectively with a Shanahan-style West Coast offense, the zone read running game. And that's going to decimate you. It really is. And even if you can find ways to deal with it, you're not going to stop it. You're just going to be able to moderate it. Backing it up is Kirk Cousins, a man who was able to put up multiple 4,000-plus yard, 5,000-plus yard seasons with Washington. And they were terrible when he did that. So yeah, there's just too much on that offense for you to compete. All right, Titans. You're getting them at home. It doesn't matter. You're going to lose. They are just an old-school smash-mouth team. And Henry no longer has to worry about running into Calais Campbell, now does he? This defense has been severely weakened this offseason. This is a tank for our future quarterback season. They got rid of the insurance policy quarterback. They lost so much of the defense, and it's been impossible to fill all those holes. It's a serious youth movement, but a weak one. So a team like the Titans is going to have no problems with you. All right, at the Ravens, definitely a loss for very similar reasons to the Titans. And to be frank, with how good the Ravens team is, I don't think I need to talk much about it. The Bears, Week 16. That's a loss. You're getting them at home? Yes. Do I have faith in Trubisky? No. But because of my lack in faith in Trubisky, he's not going to be starting in my book. He's going to be out in like Week 12. Their bye week, no more Trubisky. So this will be Big Dick Nick coming into town and showing you why you shouldn't have let him go. This is a revenge game for Nick Foles. I think he is going to know that offense well enough, and they have enough talent on that team to make it so they can definitely, easily handle this Jaguars team, especially with the pissed off Nick Foles factor. All right. I'm going to wrap things up Week 17 at the Colts. That's also going to be a loss because, well, they have an extremely, extremely strong running game, and you don't have the defense that can handle that, and it's a road game. And you just don't have the overall roster and overall leadership in order to make road games a viable thing. So, if you are paying attention, the games that I think are a lock, one way or another, you're 0-10. Split the remaining games essentially down the middle, you're 3-13. That's a top 5 draft pick, my friends. Yeah. So it's going to be a tough season. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch Gardner Minshew do his thing. It really will. But this is more about what comes after Gardner Minshew than it is about Minshew himself. Teams don't actually invest in fourth round and later quarterbacks unless they seriously prove something. So unless I am absolutely 110% dead wrong about this season, Gardner Minshew has no chance to be the long-term starter of this team. The owner, the GM, they're going to want to get their guy of the future that they can sell all sorts of jerseys for. And the best way to do that is to get a first-round draft pick, top 5 draft pick quarterback. That's what the Chargers did. That's what Miami did. That's what the Bengals did. Jaguars are just looking at those teams saying, next year. That's it. All right, so let me know what you guys think. Hit me up in the comments. Like and share if you enjoy the content. Check out the Nerd Sports channel. I know, creative, right? All of the video game and otherwise very nerdy content has moved over to that channel. Just because the football fans didn't necessarily jive with it, apparently. But also don't forget about me on Patreon. So come the season, if you need help setting your big board for your draft, if you need help setting your week-to-week lineup, if you just want to watch along a game live with your boy here, come hit me up. Thanks for watching, guys.